keeping a balanced perspective. So I've been obviously watching the NBA since I was 5 years old. It's kind of like that pastime, if you will. I think I have one of my best friends I met when I was 5, obviously my family. But other than that, it's been like NBA basketball. I've always watched it. I've always had favorite teams. So even at 30 years old to like go home and turn on the playoffs, it's kind of like to watch Barkley and Inside the NBA and stuff. I just have always done that. So it's kind of somewhat I guess, a cool thing or something that kind of puts me at ease. But a couple of things happened with the NBA playoffs, and I don't know if you caught on to some of these stories, but Isaiah Thomas, he plays for the Boston Celtics. Pretty much the morning before his game, his 21-year-old sister tragically died in a car accident, and they actually had him at shoot-around breaking down, crying. They weren't sure if he was going to play. Additionally, Patrick Beverley, the point guard for the Houston Rockets, he found out on the way to the arena that his grandmother passed away. Again, had the camera on him. He's crying. He's trying to compose himself. And then Kenny the Jet Smith, who you've met from Turner Sports, and I've had a chance to interview him as well. His mother recently passed away, so he took some time away from the playoffs and the set to go to the funeral and make all that happen. And I know you and I have had some close calls with some immediate family members in the last 2 years or so. But again, that stuff just always keeps me balanced and has that perspective, because I think in business, a deal may not go through or an employee may not be pulling through. And it sounds morbid to say, but I really do think when you hear stories like that of somebody's sister dying in a car accident, or you hear someone's mother dying, that would be a very dark, depressed state. So I think I use it as motivation, man. When I hear that, I'm so thankful that my family is with me and that everything's good. And it really gives you perspective in business. When that deal doesn't come through, it's like, all right, on to the next one. What's the worst that can happen type deal?
Yeah. And I think by doing that, you can really look at your priorities in general, but I think it makes you a better business overall, because if you understand that this business is important, but maybe not the most important thing, because if, all of your family gets wiped out in a car accident or something like that, well, then this business just doesn't make you happy. So I do think that's important, and it helps from, keeping a balanced perspective, helps you from becoming too cutthroat when you make bad business decisions, because the business is everything.
Right.
And if you screw over 2 or 3 or 4 people because you think the business is everything, you get a bad reputation, your clients don't like you, and they feel like they're getting screwed, and then all of a sudden it's just not the reputation we want to have. And
well, more so than that, I just think there's a lot of people that complain about, I had traffic when I came in, and like this freaking deal that I was certain was going to come through didn't come through, and the stupid ass client like did this and that, and I don't know, man, just an awful day. Like nothing could go any worse today. Like, really?
Yeah.
And maybe that's like I'll get a little older, I guess. But that, and also things that I think about a friend sometimes, and I think about a good time, or I think about a good quality they may have, and now I just try to pick up the phone and text them and say like, hey man, thinking about you. You're always so cool to hang out with, whatever. And you would think that would come off across like, hey man, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? But actually people enjoy that and being able to reflect and say nice things as well. So I guess I'm becoming more cerebral in my...
Yeah, no, it's good, man. Keep a positive attitude and realize that, the negative stuff's not that bad.